What is going on, everybody? This is the Undefeated by Choice podcast, and I am your host, Matt the Gadari Oyler. The premise of the show is to bring on athletes or anybody involved with fitness to help bring you motivation, inspiration, and good tips to be the best you. Before we get into anything, I need to thank Foley's MMA. Check them out online. Check out their class schedule. Come feel the vibe of this place. It's awesome. I'm going to thank them for opening their doors to us and giving us a home. We also want to thank myteamtrainer.com, the best speed and agility drills you're going to get for only $5 a month. Also, go check out store.undefeatedbychoice. We're not Louis Vuitton, but we are undefeated in comfort. So go check it out. Without any further ado, let's get to the show. And we're rolling. We're here with the champ. Where's the belt? I told you bring the belt. Oh, you got it? Okay. We got Nick. Find the belt. Bring it out here. We got to have that thing on display. Can't have the champ here without the belt.
It has its own carry.
Yeah. Oh man, they hook it up. We're gonna talk about your promotion that gave you that belt because I like those guys a lot. But first, we just got done doing a little workout, and and every time I work with an athlete, I want to try to help them in something that they don't already know. Obviously, looking at you, I'm not going to teach you much of powerlifting.
Hey, I'm always willing to learn.
I know you are, and that was a cool thing. I actually felt like, I taught him something that he might like. All right, let's get that. Just try to put this on the table somehow. There we go. The champ. All right. No, and I did like that. We were going over some stuff, and you're like, yeah, I like that. I hope you're able to use that. What we did was I was able to do some ladder work with you. And what I try to do with the athletes is I'll have them do the ladder work with their feet, and then I'll have them do the exact same pattern with their hands, developing that hand-eye coordination. And like I said, your back. So when you're doing your footwork with your feet, you're just focusing on your feet. And a lot of people can get really, really good at that. But then when they get to their hands are doing one thing, but their feet are doing a different thing. If their hands are doing inside, inside, outside, outside, inside, inside, outside, outside, their feet aren't doing that. Their feet are just shuffling, trying to keep balance. So it's that. Can we? So if just to break in, if you are catching any of that noise, Dave Foley, Disco Dave Foley, the guy who owns this gym, is rocking so hard in the basement right now. He's having band practice. So if you catch any of that, don't be mad. Like he's doing his thing. And he's letting us use his spot. So thanks, Dave. Thanks for letting us use his spot. Anyways, it's just loud in the mic so we can hear it. So, so it's that disconnect, or it's that connection of my body. My feet are trying to catch my body. My hands are doing one thing. I got to stay focused. And you're using your whole body when you're down on all fours doing your hand work, and you're gonna get tired. And so it's just like in a fight, or if you were playing football or anything. When you get tired, your body needs to go into autopilot. And if your body doesn't know how to catch itself when it's getting tired and it starts to stumble, you're just going to be on the ground the whole time. So I hope that some of that, what else did we go over? I'll let you do some of the talking. What else did we go over?
So we did the hand and the feet, and then we went and did some of the U drill, which was pretty cool. You're changing from orthodox to southpaw, and you're hitting a tennis ball, alternating your punches each time, which is something new. It makes you think, it makes you have to react and see where your weaknesses are.
Yeah,
so, pretty neat.
And what was cool was watching you do it. When you first started doing it, you were hitting tennis balls and they were flying all over the place, and then you started drilling tennis balls and they were firing like right back at me, and they had some speed on them. You caught me in the rib with one of them, but we just in that short amount of time you were able to like zero in your punches and start lasering those tennis balls back at me, which is ideally what you want to do in that drill. And so that one's more fight specific, and these are all drills that I'm going to add to the website at myteamtrainer.com. And so these are all drills that we're going to add to the site here soon. I haven't put the hand drills on. We're just adding the explosive leg drills that I recorded last week. So then in a couple weeks, we're going to put the hand drills on there. So thanks for helping us out with that. I hope you like them. Hope you go and use them. And it's going to help you with your hand-eye coordination.
Yeah, dude, that was some good stuff. The in and out with my hands versus just my feet. I've been trained by some great coaches, and that's something we've never done. So
cool.
I'll pass that on. So thank you.
Awesome, man. Thank you. That's all I want to do is just share some of the knowledge I've gotten this over a decade since I've decided to really dedicate my life to training. So thanks. I appreciate that. So man, let's get into you, man. Let's talk about you, because I didn't know who you were before your last fight, which was 2 weeks ago.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and And all of a sudden, you're on this card, and literally everybody is saying your name. Everyone's talking about Bryce. I'm like, who is this guy? I got to watch him. And some people that I really, really look up to had some really great things to say about you. So I was like, oh, I got to bring him on the show. Got to talk to him. But your story's awesome. You're the champ. How did that happen?
You know, I mean, we all like to, all guys who like to play hardcore sports, football, wrestling. You know, for me, I always wanted to fight. I never thought I'd do it. Life gets in front of you, you know, kids get married. But I had a buddy who I work with about 4 years ago, Buzz Valdez, said, dude, you need to fight. You need to fight.
Yeah.
The story goes that we were working in this backyard, and there's this tree. He's like, dude, I can't get the tree down. He's trying to cut it with the drywall saw. Right? I'm like, dude, what are you doing? So I'm like, watch, grab the tree, rip it down. And he's like,
with your bare hands?
Yeah. And so it's a story to remind me about. But he's like, dude, you're strong. I'm like, oh, man, I'm out of shape. But anyway, so about a year and a half ago, I got divorced, and I wanted to – it's a bucket list thing I've always wanted to do, you know? So he's like, dude, let's do it. I know some people, they'll take you in, and next thing I know, I'm getting punched in the face, and I dropped a lot of weight, got in good shape, and I wanted to better my life and do some things I've never – that I didn't think I'd do, and that's
how much weight did you lose?
So January 15th last year, I was at the doctor's office, and I was 315 pounds. So
it's a big boy.
I played college football at 309, so I was in good shape, and you know.
So everyone was telling you it's okay to be big. You're a lineman.
Yeah, and when you're big, getting smaller feels weird because you're like the biggest guy. But you know, I want to be around for my kids. I want to be healthy. I want to live a good life, and I have good genetic genes, and I wanted to see what my body could do. So you can't be out of shape and fight.
Right.
And so I dedicated myself to get through my divorce to focus on bettering myself, getting better shape, and
as you should.
And I dropped a lot of weight, and I'm in the best shape of my life. So
there's tons of stuff that we can go off of that. So, but I have a very similar story to yours. When I stumbled into Foley's gym, I was going through my divorce. So talk us through the mindset, because you say it's a bucket list. So I mean, I don't want to get too much into your life. Was your wife like, nope, you're not fighting? Or did you just not even bring it up because you just had so much other stuff going on?
No, not at all. You know, I'm sure she would have supported me had I decided to do it, but I'm not going to lie, fighting's a selfish sport.
Right.
If you don't dedicate your time and your energy, you're going to get your ass kicked in the cage. And how I train, I go all in, or I do it right. That's how I train to out-train everybody. And so I said I have free time, you know, and I said let's go for it. I'm still feeling good shape, and I still feel I got a step.
Yeah.
And you know, the first place I actually came was here.
Yeah,
so,
I heard that you actually trained with, or you talked to my late coach, or did you actually train with Pat?
I trained with Pat. So me and Buzz came here. We trained boxing. So because I knew how to wrestle, and I wanted to get my hands up with my ground game, and Pat brought me in and gave me a chance, and I'm very fortunate for that, and thank him for that. So.
Yeah, I heard you did get to spend some time with him, which is awesome. He's such a great guy. Unfortunately, I think you were just at the time of his life where he was starting to step away from the fight game. It was hard for him to watch because of a lot of the brain damage he had suffered through fighting. You know, we believe he suffered from CTE, and he ended up taking his life this year, and that was hard. You know, I wear this necklace that says "Passion is everything," which is his motto. We all the team, we all wear that, and we all have it with us. But that makes us brothers. I mean, if you train with Pat, if he took the time for you, that makes us brothers. And you know, so now you train. Where do you train now?
So after I left here. We're just doing hands. I went to the garage with Dave Castillo.
Okay.
He brought me in, and he had Anthony Lobato, and so I went from one good gym to another good gym, and I became part of the garage family, who then merged with Koa. And
I love those guys. I mean, I like most of the fight camps around here. I noticed after Pat's passing, so many gyms opened their door to us, to our team, because of who Pat was, and because they were like, these guys are kind of, we were like the Lost Boys, we didn't have our leader anymore. We didn't have, Peter Pan, leading us around. So many gyms around here opened their doors to us and let us go in and train with us. And that's why so many of my teammates knew who you were, because Koa had opened their doors to us and let us come in and train with them. And so I'm always, thankful to all the other gyms. And what I love about Dave is that he's not stingy about letting his fighters go out and train other places or letting other fighters come into his gym. He's very open, and I've noticed, and a lot of the guys from the garage, we've trained with guys from the garage all the time because I feel like Castillo's the same way, where he's very open. I mean, he's got his team, but he's not trying to harness all you guys in. He wants you guys to get good training. So I've always loved that about the gyms, especially in this area. They're pretty supportive of each other. You keep bringing up Buzz, and I love Buzz to death. Buzz was, so when I stumbled in here and started training, when Pat invited me up into the ring, he was like, okay, we're gonna do some jiu-jitsu now, and he's like pairing everybody off, and he puts me with Buzz, and I got 30 years underneath Buzz. So I'm like, man, they're gonna put me with this old man. No, he started tying me up, choking me out, putting me in everything, and I was like, what is going on here? Buzz is deceiving. He is deceivingly good. And he's so supportive. He's such like an awesome guy. When I saw him in your corner, I was like, dude, that's awesome. I love that.
You know, for an old man, he's still got it. And he's got the passion, you know, and he can relate to me. You know, he was an athlete, and he never gave up on me. And so having the opportunity to bring him in my corner, it worked out. And, you know, it's something that he'll never forget. I'll never forget. And it was just cool.
He was beaming after your fight. He was beaming ear to ear. It's like he was a proud father.
You know, I try to make the people who surround me proud. That's, you know, I do it for myself, but I put in all the hard work for everybody who stood behind me. That's the people who were there before I won this, and after, you know. It's what means the most to me. So
yeah. Speaking of proud father, I think I ran into your parents. Were they out there that night?
They were. My
your mom was scared. Your mom was scared. She was like, I didn't want to see it. I felt so bad for the other guy, which is a classic mom thing to say. But that's awesome to be able to do that stuff in front of your family.
It was, you know, I understand why she didn't want to go, but you know, in high school, I had a really good record, and she's like, man, I feel bad for the kids who have to wrestle you. And I'm like, yeah, you know, seeing your son get punched in the face doesn't sound good, but I told her, you know, I'm going to go out there. She raised me never to quit, and so if I did get in a bad situation, she knows I gave it everything. That's all that matters to me. So
that's awesome.
And she'll love me if I lose.
Yeah. Oh, that's the best. And so I do a lot of motivational speaking, and I talk to kids about usually really young athletes about fear, and I'm like, guys, you need to stop being so afraid of so many things. So many people are ruled by fear, and athletes especially. You know, I'll go over like the 6 different types of motivation with them, and fear is one of those, and every single one of them will pick fear. They're like, I'm scared to let my coaches down, I'm scared to let my family down, I'm scared and I have to tell them, guys, I've coached for 15 years. There's never been a player that I've been disappointed in if he tried.
Yep.
It just doesn't happen. Like getting that fear outside, getting that fear away from people to where that fear is not in the back of their mind, so they can focus on what they need to focus on. Encouraging young athletes, and any athlete actually, to just understand like you do. Like, my mom's gonna love me if I lose. Like, you weren't going out there being like, I gotta make everybody proud. You have a little bit of that, but you're not afraid to.
No.
You know you failed. You know that you've fallen, and you know that no one's invincible and no one's undefeated.
And I've learned something too. Like, I've seen when people would get hurt and playing sports, you know, is when they're either scared or they're not going hard. Yeah, you get tired, but the minute you start, you know, you lose your technique, you lose your focus, you get hurt.
Right.
It's that minute of weakness that, you know, and if you're afraid of you're going to get hurt, you're going to get hurt.
Yeah.
You know, you go 100 miles an hour and do everything you can. Normally it's going to work out the best, but at least you can look back and say, I left it all out there.
Yeah.
You know, instead of regret, like, oh, I had a little more in the tank.
Yeah. No, and regret's the bit. I mean, the regret is the only thing I fear. The only thing I fear is regret, like looking back and saying I didn't do enough. Yeah, I didn't try hard enough. So everything I do, you know, I'll do it full speed, or I'll do it as much as I can, because I don't want to have any regrets. But let's talk about so night of the fight. So many people, they won't get into fighting because that is their biggest fear, is like getting the anticipation for the fight. How do you deal with all that?
You know, the first fight, I was pumped up. Like in college, my football games, I would get like this nervousness, you know, this uneasy. And then after the first time I hit helmets to helmets, you wake right up. And I'm like, dang, is it going to take a punch to wake me up? And, you know, the first one I was nervous, but I got in there. I put in the time, and I just put on my music and just get in the zone. And
so what do you listen to? What's your music?
Dude, I'm weird, man. I was born and raised in Southern California, then moved to Wyoming, so I got anything from Snoop Dogg to Tim McGraw, bro. And then they got my reggae because I'm Polynesian,
yeah,
so I got it.
You can take anything.
Oh man, you press play on my thing, you don't know what's coming up. We're just going random. So, but I like to keep my heart down, get that reggae, that chill music, that just positive vibes before I go, and then a little bit before you got to get that blood flowing and put on that metal or whatever, and just remember that. Leave it out there.
Yeah. So. Music was never like music isn't one of those things that I go to. Even like when I'm lifting, I just posted on my Facebook the other day, like I was listening to the Greatest Showman soundtrack.
Dude, that stuff's awesome.
Dude, that soundtrack pumps me up. But it's like no one's gonna most people aren't gonna look at that big dude. I'm ready to go. They need to listen to like whatever Dave's playing in the basement. They don't listen to that hard rock screaming. But like I said, getting that blood pumping. So I was in your opponent's locker room.
Okay.
And I was watching him get ready, and like you said, you have those nerves and and I was watching him, and this is to your credit for going out and doing what you did, because Ray was ready. Like he was ready to go. Like I was reading him. I was reading all the fighters in the locker room, and I'm reading him, and he had like that good amount of nervousness. Like he wasn't messing around. He wasn't goofing around. You could tell he was taking it serious, but he was also kind of loose. Like he had a smile on his face, and his hands were fast. And this goes, and this 100% goes to your credit, because you went in against somebody who was ready to fight, ready to go, and you dominated the fight. I mean, you went to what you do best, which is wrestling, and you had some of the most beautiful takedowns. Just, I mean, like I said, he was ready to go, and I do have to say this though, you could have took his arm home twice.
Yeah,
you did. You went for the ground and pound, but I was like, I could see it on the big screen. They had a camera zoomed in. Yeah, and I was like, take his heart. Like I was so excited for you, but I know you go with what you know. You had no problem, no issues. You were. I mean, your ground and pound was, and just your wrestling, the way you were able to control him. So, how much of your actual wrestling translates into your actual fighting?
Well,
because you're not getting punched in the face in wrestling.
No, but how we train. We get held down, and I get punched in the face by little dudes. So having the smaller guys, smaller gloves, they can slip through where the bigger guys can't. But wrestling's huge, man. Yeah. Wrestling's a glue to MMA. I'll say it. Everybody says that. The best UFC fighters are wrestlers. Ray was prepared. He looked great, man. I respect that guy he got in great shape, and anybody who's not ready to fight, it's on them. But Ray came in ready to. And he believed in everything that he'd put in, the hard work, and his hard work, look at him. Yeah. He's a different person. Yeah. And I hope that changed his life. Like getting in good shape changed my life. I got nothing but respect for that guy. He's beat dudes, and he'll continue to beat dudes. But I'm not disrespecting anybody, but if you don't have your wrestling game on, I mean, I'm not trying to keep on saying it, but man, these big guys need to know that when they're on the ground, you can't, there's certain things you can't do. Then my wrestling helped me,
Yeah. Oh, it did. I was so I got up into the upper. There's 2 floors at the rail where they do the fights for Still Fist, and I get up there and I get with my team, and my teammate Dom looks at me and goes, and he's like, dude, I cannot wait for this fight. And I was like, dude, Ray's ready. And he looks at me and goes, do you know who Bryce is? And I was like, no. And he's like, dude's a beast. And he was like, me and Dom have known each other for a long time. We've trained together for a few years now. And when Dom says dude, this dude's legit, I know to pay attention. Like I know that's what's up. So then I was like, I just popped up. I was like, I gotta watch this fight now, because Dom was like dead stone face. This dude's legit. And he's like, his wrestling. He's like, Ray's gonna get taken down. And just like that, it happened. And your wrestling knowledge. So you showed me some stuff out there that I'm definitely going to start using in the camp now, in my camp, with the guys I'm training with now. But it was so applicable to. I was showing you what I like to do up against the fence, and then you're like, "Well, this is what I like to do. I like to," and so you show me. I'm not going to give your secrets away, but it was such a good. I mean, it was such an MMA transitional move. Is that a typical wrestling move, or is that something you've developed because of your MMA training, or where did that come from?
You know, that it's a wrestling move I used. I wasn't a big single leg guy back in when I wrestled. I'd rather just blast through you and chop you in half and take, pin you, get on top, win. But I've noticed how my style of fighting, orthodox fighters leave that leg up and it's an easy single. I mean, there's my dinner. I'm going to pick you up and take it down.
Yeah.
And it's something I use because you can literally blast and be as violent with that as I showed you as possible.
Yeah.
But, as much as the wrestling's huge, I got thrown into jiu-jitsu. I knew how to wrestle, like, okay, you're coming to jiu-jitsu. My first time rolling, I was rolling with the black belt, and my face was destroyed.
Yeah.
Bloody, I busted my face up, and I had no idea what I was doing. Anthony Lobato's an old school, awesome, one of the best jiu-jitsu guys around, and so to be able to learn from him and all those black belts, and it's been fun, man. That has helped my wrestling game and translate over to my fight game with the jiu-jitsu and the wrestling, and then use it in applications, and I'm learning a lot, like that when I showed you.
Yeah.
Nobody does this. They just take damage on that. And little stuff like that. Like, I may have not fought as many years as most guys, but I've wrestled a long time. And I'm smart enough to know how to, stay away from getting hurt. But at the same time, you want to expend the least amount of energy and have control, not just be sloppy with your wrestling, with your shots. And I just hope that I shared some of that with my guys in the gym I train with, and then, showed you that and you can pass it along, because I promise you, everybody gets in that single leg. They're trying to work.
Oh, yeah.
But they're getting blasted.
I get it so much.
That little thing it's awesome, man. Yeah. Nobody expects it.
I like it. I'm definitely going to use it, guys, when anyone says, dude, where did that come from? Let them know. Bryce, the heavyweight champ showed that to me. That's where I learned it.
Oh, man. One thing that was cool in my fight I like to watch and see where I made mistakes and what I could do better. But the wrestling, like when you're there on all fours and they're covered up, turtle position kind of. If there's just some things at wrestling where I was able to lock his leg where he couldn't move, then you get their hand, and so their head's open. They can't come up. You just wrap around, basically kind of like a T-wrap, but without both hands. You just wrap on their wrist, and they can't move it. They're stuck right here, and there's little stuff like that it's been awesome, man.
Yeah.
It's just natural,
Yeah.
And it's cool. I'm intrigued. I want to share what I've learned. I hopefully by what I've done, people will listen, because I think I could share some good information with people who haven't wrestled, who are stand-up fighters, just to better themselves, because that's what I want to see people get better.
So how much of our one question I want to ask you? You're also a football player, and we were talking about this briefly before the show. And I was saying, like, I feel like a football tackle and a wrestling takedown. When I started fighting, everyone was like, "Oh, you're a wrestler," because I'd have all these double leg takedowns. I was like, "No, I grew up a football player. I've never wrestled a day in my life." And they're like, "Well, you look like a wrestler." And I'm like, "No, I'm a football player. So when I'm shooting, I'm shooting through you." And I always felt like wrestlers, where like those double legs where you're sweeping the legs out from underneath them, it's more you're taking them from that spot that they're in rather than shooting through them. Am I totally wrong in that? Or
if you think, for me, like, why I wouldn't want to shoot through is because you can lose control.
Right.
If you shoot, sweep, you can put your shoulder right through, cut them in half.
Yeah.
If you're gonna tackle them, you see these tackles. It's a
toss up.
Yeah, I can't think of the word, but when you shoot and you're out of control, it's just you're rolling, and hopefully you take them down. But with that, shoot in, pick them up, take them down the side. Not only do you have control, but you have the shoulder going down, and you're controlling their hips. If you got their hips, they can't go anywhere.
Right.
In a football tackle, you're hoping to blow through them, that your momentum goes through.
Yeah, I'm stopping you from getting over the goal line, so I'm going to blow through you. And that's always how I would shoot, was more of like a football tackle. And I got a short neck, so the exposure of the guillotine isn't always there. I mean, I get caught just like anybody, but I just always got that relation. Oh, you're a wrestler. No, I'm a football player. So I wondered how much of it was actually like a symbiotic relationship between a double leg takedown and a football tackle. And I thought, And my association with football tackles, you're more shooting through. Wrestling, you're dumping them right in their spot.
Yeah, and if you do that football style, you'll get choked out. I learned that the hard way, and so I started going to my singles, and Dave actually showed me. Dave and Coach Sabato showed me a choke out of it if I'm caught in it. I can't remember it right now, but it's awesome. So if I got caught into it, I can swing around. It's the Bon Flu, I think. And so guys were getting me in the front headlock guillotine, and I was able to choke them out. But I was so deep in my shot,
Yeah.
But that's why I started going to the single, because I can shoot in. If I miss, then I can, But
so you got some great jiu-jitsu coaches. Do you have anyone your size that you're training with at your gym?
No,
heavyweights?
within like 50 pounds.
Okay, so not really.
Not really,
Yeah.
and so when I did that, we'd have guys come in, but the closest one is probably like 210, 205. But you got a black belt who's 205 pounds.
That's the beauty of jiu-jitsu. That's why it was built, for smaller guys to beat bigger guys.
It humbles you.
So yeah, well, also when you have a 60-year-old choking you out when you're in your 30s, that's when Buzz was putting me to sleep. I was like, come on, man. But that's the beauty of jiu-jitsu. I love jiu-jitsu. That's probably one of my favorite. One of my favorite things to practice is my jiu-jitsu, and I don't get enough of it done as much as I would like. But because it wears on you. It wears on you. You start your elbows start hurting after a while. Your joints, like it's a different beast.
Yeah, when you get your Adam's apple popped or cracked or whatever, dude, you can't eat for 2 weeks. You can't swallow that.
Yeah.
It teaches you to slow it down. Like for me, like I was 100 miles an hour, like wrestling. You
Right.
Move to move, but good jiu-jitsu guys, my Coach Sabato, and my buddy Brock, they know what they're doing 3 steps ahead. So I do move something, they're going to get me. It's like I have to slow it down to even not get my head ripped off.
And sticking with that, and being humble enough to say like, hey man, this is what's happening, and that's why you're 2 fights in, and you got this belt right here, is because you're someone who's like you're willing to learn. And so many athletes, I want to be the best. I want to be the best. I just want to be the best, and that's all they're focused on. They're not willing to accept that they're not the best at something, and to learn how to become the best at it. That is such a valuable tool. How did you develop that ability? Because I look at you and you're just like you're a genetic freak. And you've told me you play football, you wrestled, so it seems like athletics has always been your background. You've probably excelled for the most part. Where did you learn? Like, when did you learn, and where did you learn? Like, I need to be open to learn.
Well, my mom never. I was lucky. Like, you have the parents who push their kids so hard. My mom said, if you're going to do it, you're going to commit. You're not quitting. And then my dad was, he was a big time bodybuilder, so his drive to always work hard, and you're gonna have ups and downs, and my mom always said there's always someone bigger and badder than you. And whenever I got cocky, 2 times I got cocky in high school, and I lost to dudes. I got in wrestling, I was like 105, and I think I had 9 losses in 3 years, and most of those were when I was a sophomore. But my last 2 years of high school, the 2 times that I got caught was when I was like, I'm gonna whoop this kid, and
overlooked him.
I overlooked a guy that I never should have lost to. But so always thinking that I know there's someone better than me. Never be complacent, and you work too hard to lose, but it's gonna happen sooner or later. But if the harder you work, the better chances you are of being successful. And how our culture is, the Samoan culture, respect and hard work, family, and that's all that matters. So kind of how I was raised, who I am, what's in my blood. I'm a warrior, man.
Yeah. I've always said, like, the Samoan Polynesian culture has always, I've told you, I was telling you earlier, my best friend, she's Samoan, her whole family's Samoan. They've all taken me in and feed me wonderful meals, and it really is such a family-oriented culture. It's so comfortable. Like, everyone's an uso, and everyone, and it's so friendly. And then we'll start playing a pickup game of basketball, and the big boys can move. It's in your guys' DNA to be competitive. It's in your guys' DNA to just I don't know where this athleticism comes from, because it's not like that culture was, you know, built around like struggles or you know, they were, you know, they're paradise. I've always said, back in the time when, you know, we were basic hand-to-hand combat, if the Polynesians wanted to be like take over the world, they would have taken over the world. But they were like, we don't want to conquer anything. We're good.
Island, bro.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, we're good where we're at. We don't need to conquer anything. Can you imagine a boat full of Mark Hunts coming off and trying to take your land in England? Dude, you're all dead. You're all dead.
Yeah, because you're going to punch him. You're nothing.
Yeah, you're not going to stop him. He's just going to club you. And so, like, but, you know, it's the Polynesian culture, it just, for whatever reason, like, I love it. And I love the family part of it. Like, that, the minute me and my best friend started, you know, she'd bring me out to her family things. Man, it was just like, it was a totally different feel. It's a totally different vibe. And it's so respectful. It's so respectful. I don't see the teenagers, like her brothers and stuff, getting like disrespectful to their mom or to their dad. Like there's a lot of respect there, and you know that's a lot of people need to have Polynesian parents. You know, we'd be a little more. We'd have a little more better society. I mean. Yeah, anyways, you brought that up, so I was like, I need to talk about that, because I've always loved that culture, and it's just, you know, it's island life, man. Yeah, I've been to Hawaii once, and I was like, yeah, I'm sold.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man, to see.
And I'm jealous because you get to have all these sweet tattoos. Like, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do those sweet tribals.
Sure, you could, bro. It's all it's inside. It matters.
I've never done the haka, because I'm like, dude, I'm too white. I'm too white to do the haka.
Oh man, it don't matter, dude. As long as you
pay
respect and you know what you're doing, it wouldn't bother me, you know.
Yeah. Well, so. maybe I'll have you show it to me, because you know, it's warriors, man. It's warriors. So, and I see, like you have that mentality. You're the most relaxed dude. You're relaxed, but when you went to war, man, it was war. But it wasn't like you weren't out of control. Like, those cameras were pretty good on your face. And you were calm, collected, and you went in there and you did your thing. You went to war, you did your thing, but there was no moment where I was like, oh, he's like scared. There was no emotion. You didn't look scared. You didn't look nervous. I mean, you were in control the whole time. But like, even when there was that moment of, because Ray's hands are great, and you just that stone face, that calm, relaxed face, and it was something to watch, for real. It was something to watch. Now, so you're fighting for Still Fist. You're the champ for Still Fist. Do they have any whispers of another fight?
Yeah, if somebody called me out.
So, really?
Yeah, he called me out the night of the fight, and they just let me know yesterday. So we'll talk with the coaches and see. No, you can't. This will be 2 weeks from now. So you can't. So can you not say a name, or you don't need to. You don't have to if you don't want to. We'll let it simmer and see what happens.
Off camera, we'll talk.
We'll release it on your website.
Okay, all right. We'll talk off camera, because I want to look this guy up and see who has the nuts to call you out. That's sorry, I just gotta. When you see me look at the camera, just so people know it's not all weird. Nick is giving me signs and holding it up. Sometimes you usually just hold something up that says shh. Meaning I'm talking too much. I need to let the guest talk, but he's giving me some notes from behind the camera. Let's see. Back to this Still Fist. Was your first fight for a Still Fist promotion?
Second.
Your second was? Your first wasn't?
No, they both were. Sorry.
Okay, they both were. Okay, so I wanted to bring it up because I like a lot of these Utah promotions. I think they do a good job, but Still Fist, it feels a lot different. They've got you gotten lucky. You've gotten into probably the best show in Utah. Kevin and Pat, I don't know them at all. They both added me on Facebook randomly, and because I was fighting, and so they added me. But I've never had a conversation with them, but they always like my postings, and like they pay attention to the people, and they really are trying to build a really good MMA community.
Yeah, they do a really good job.
I feel like they do. I feel like their show. I mean, that show was. I mean, that was an intense show. I was cornering one of my teammates, Eric, that night, and the walkout, and I was like, man, this is big time. This is like a real deal. So they do a good job. Hats off to them, man. And I wanted to say credit to them for giving you a title shot in your second fight. And this is why I say that. So I was catching up with an old buddy, just telling him what I'm up to, talking about the podcast. I was like, yeah, I'm having this heavyweight champ come on. And he's like, Bryce? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, what do you think about him getting a title fight, his second fight? And I said, if you'd asked me before the fight, of course I'd have my comments like, I don't know, man. Anyone's got a puncher's chance, but in your second fight. But having watched you fight, I didn't watch your first fight. Having watched you fight, all I can say is you keep that belt wrapped around your waist until someone can stop what you're doing, because it's impressive. The skill that you have in only your second fight was very impressive. Your control of not only your control of your wrestling that you were using to do it, but your control of the pace of the fight, your mentality going into the fight, your mentality in the fight. Just watching you as a fight fan, as a fighter, I told this kid, I said, dude, until someone can stop him, yeah, he deserves that belt. Until there's something, your mom says bigger, badder. Until that happens, like, dude, you just I don't care if it was your first fight. You went in and you did the damn thing. So, congratulations to you on that. And hats off to Pat and Kevin for seeing that in you. Those guys, they know what they're doing.
I was very fortunate, I heard the same things, people not happy, but I'm here to fight. I don't set up the things, but yeah. I knew that my first fight, if the guy beat me, he was going to get a title shot. So I said, let me show you what I'm about. Nobody knows about me. My coaches got me on point. I busted my ass, and I knew what I could do. And, wrestling wins, man. Don't think I can't throw my hands. Why stand there and punch each other in the face when I can take you down and take no punches?
Yeah, it's a smart way to do it.
And yeah, thank them for giving me the opportunity. I'm sure there's a lot of guys say I deserve the fight, but I'm just here to fight. I fought, and
I don't know how anyone can watch that performance and know who Ray is and say you don't deserve it.
The other, Lauren in my first fight, undefeated, knocked dudes out. These aren't guys that had lost.
Right.
They are guys who dominated their fights, and I did what I know I could do.
Yeah.
And I got nothing but respect for both of them. But
it's always
this
fun.
is who I am, and this is what I do. I'm not trying to disrespect, but wrestling is huge. And
right.
Hopefully that message will get relayed to them, and
I think it's funny how people will be like, oh, he's never been tested with your wrestling pedigree. Wrestling is the most grueling of all the sports. Growing up in it, and then even in your record that you spoke of, your record in that, I don't understand how people can say, oh, he's never been tested. A punch in the face is a punch in the face. All of us have been punched in the face. Not all of us have been taken down. Not all of us have had someone on top of us smothering us. The testing ground was all done through your growing up years.
And I've been punched in the face, and there's some people who verify that my chin is just as solid as my ground game.
Yeah.
I took 5 minutes of a rough time one time.
Yeah.
And it made me tough and realized I could take a punch. Broke my nose, blew my eardrum out, and I wasn't about to get knocked out.
Wow.
And by the person who punched me, that person is a very well-known puncher, and he would knock out probably anybody. But, I at that point, I didn't want to get hit in the face.
Right.
I just recently got my nose fixed, and then guess what? Destroyed, where I can't breathe out of it again. And but get tested. My test was all the training and the hard work that I did.
Yeah.
Do I have to get punched in the face to show you I'm a tough guy?
No.
If that's what you're into, cool. I got to keep this feet.
Yeah, that's your money maker. That's exactly. Now, single now, that's your money maker. You're all in good shape. You're talking about losing weight. You're ripped. Hey, don't take punches in the face. Don't do it.
Oh, I will, but I don't.
Yeah, exactly. It happens, but it's not.
It'll happen sooner or later. But the good thing that I'm confident with is I train so hard on the ground where a lot of guys don't. So if I do get punched and taken down, my my instincts are going to come in. I'm going to, a lot of guys give out their arms. I'm ripping off your arm.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu, I'm going to, like, it's there.
Yeah.
I mean, don't think because I'm out that I'm not going to be able to do something. You better finish me. Like I said, when I've been in fights, you better knock me out.
Yeah.
And hope that I don't wake up. Like, I don't like to lose, but it's all right. You're not going to win everything, but
right. You're not afraid to, so you're not afraid to put yourself out there. And so I mean, I think you've got the right mentality. Just as an athlete, just the brief little interactions I've had with you, I think you have all the potential to be as great as you want. Because you said after your fight, I'm not a fighter. I'm just a guy who likes to challenge myself. How far are you going to challenge yourself in this? What's the goal? Do you have an end game goal? Do you have a vision of where you want to be?
I came into this, and one of the things we did when we were at COA, we put down our goals and what we wanted to do. And I'm older than most of the guys, so I put on mine, I just want to become a better fighter, I don't do this for the glory to get girls or whatever people do it for. I enjoy the challenge. I love the physical aspect as much as I love someone taking me down, challenge me, making me better, pushing me. But where is it's going to go? It's one of those things where I have kids, and that's my main priority, and I just want to. I'm just working hard every day, and whatever happens. And I'm fortunate to have the team behind me and good people who see that I work hard and that I'm not a cocky person. I'm just a normal person. I'm a cable guy, dude.
Yeah.
I have 2 kids, and I like to fish.
2 adorable kids, I have to say. 2 adorable kids. I got a little daughter, and so I always have a soft spot for any father, especially single fathers out there. That it's good to see, and that's the thing is you are able, like you say, like when you put your mind to something, you do it. And I guarantee you put that same attention into your parenting.
Absolutely.
And so for you to be like, when people are like, I don't have time, like I'll point to guys like you now. I say to myself and people I know in my circle, I'll point to people like you, like, dude, this dude's heavyweight champ, taking fights, learning all this, but he's also a great dad.
That comes first,
Yeah. No, for sure.
This is awesome, but dude, the memories I make with them is way more than, I just want to make them proud and show them that they can do whatever they want, and that their dad works hard. They can be proud of me, and that they can follow in those footsteps as they get older. And
the fact that you bring them to stuff like this, and they get to be a part of your life. Like so many people, they put them on the back burner when they're, no, this is my business. This is work. This is whatever. No, man. No, them being able to see you work is what they need to see, because they need to see, oh, Daddy puts in the work. I need to be like Dad.
And they're part of the family. In our pictures after we train, my kids are in there. I mean, that's why I love where I train. COA, dude. We're all a family. It's people bring their kids. My kids are there hitting the bags. My son wants to learn. The coaches interact with them. Yeah. I mean, it's a perfect fit, man. It's all about love and respect. And
so, do you haven't taken any of the classes?
No, not yet. They like to hit the bag. I just let them do their thing. Let them get some confidence.
Do you see any inkling in any type of sport for them? Like they kick a ball, throw a ball? Are they just natural athletes like Daddy?
Yeah, he's gonna be a freak. He loves baseball. Yeah, he can hit the ball. My daughters, they're both super smart.
They know we're talking about him because all of a sudden they both pop into frame.
But yeah, they're both athletes, man. They've got a good bloodline, and if they want to pursue it, I'll support them. But one thing I've learned is your brain will take you a lot farther than your body. Yeah. But it's fun. I've had a great experience in things I've done, and it's all because of my athletic ability. So
I think you have a similar mindset that I do towards things. This philosophy. I don't know if you've heard this. I don't know if to call it a story, but I mean the Vikings used to come to a new land. They would burn their boats. And then go into battle, and it was their way to like scare the opponents. But it's like, we're not turning back. Like we're gonna conquer your land, or we're gonna die. Like there's no turning back. Yep. And just a lot of stuff you're saying. I'm like, dude, this dude's got that Viking mentality. Like burn the boats. And I always like to ask people. Like I asked you, like, what's the end goal here? And you whatever happens. You have your focus on your kids. What is your? I want to conquer this, and I'm willing to burn the boats.
Honestly, I wanted to get in a fist fight in a cage, and that's all I looked forward to. And then bettering myself, like I knew where my weaknesses were. Yeah. After that first fight, I'm like, okay, people knew I can wrestle. Let's work on things that they don't. My hands. So I focused on that for 10 weeks. I learned how to fight southpaw. I learned my kicks, and you know, I'm just happy with everything that's happened, man. I've been blessed so much in my life that I just want to try and return what the blessings I've been shared. And, you know, this isn't who I am. It's just part of my life and my journey. So I've been fortunate to have some great people in it and learn a lot of great things, you know. So
I love it. I want to. We're going to wrap up the show. I want to end it in a. What was the name that you showed me, Nick? What was the name you showed me? The Triple Threat Showdown. So, in my other podcast I had, me and my co-host would ask each other random questions just to lighten the mood, because we talked about a lot of like motivational things, and it had a very inappropriate name, and so I couldn't use it. I couldn't, because this is a more family-friendly podcast. So we're going to call this the Triple Threat Showdown, which is just 3 random questions. So hopefully I can tie these all. Well, we didn't talk about your hobbies, but the final question will have to do with your hobbies. Perfect. And give you a little bit to talk about that. So along lines of fighting, if you could fight one person, alive, dead, or fictional, who would it be?
Dang, man, that's a good one.
You want to fight The Rock? Yeah. Nick wants to fight The Rock. See if we can set that up.
Oh, man. You know, I'm not one of those people that call people out, dude. I just...
So call out someone fictional. Someone that's not going to know that you really called them out.
Let's see. If I could fight anybody. Man, I'm not a fighter, bro.
Okay.
Like honestly, I've only been in like a few fights, and those fights were...
Okay, I'll switch it up. I'll switch it up for you.
Because I'm seriously not a fighter.
I won't ask the fighter. I won't ask the heavyweight champion of the world who he would fight. If you could have dinner with anybody, alive, dead, or fictional, who would it be?
Somebody would give me some good words of wisdom, you know. Probably Bob Marley, man. His personality, his views, you know, the good person he was, and the things he said. The words of, you know, being a good person and being happy and enjoying life. Like, learn from people like that, man. Life's too good, too short, too amazing to not enjoy it, you know?
It's amazing to me how many times I'll look up, like, a motivational quote or something, and it's a Bob Marley quote.
Exactly. You know?
Like, it's like people think, oh, you know, they have this conception of him. Well, it might speak to how good marijuana might be, because he's a wise man.
He was happy.
You know, he was definitely happy. And, you know, that's a good one. That's a good one. You probably have some brownies for dinner. Oh, or you'd have brownies after dinner.
Who knows? It'd probably be the breakfast, you know, the main course.
Yeah.
The dessert would be like a steak.
His special brownies. Okay, second question. With this week, it'll already be out by the time this episode comes out, but we got the Avengers movie coming out. So if you could be any superhero, who would it be?
Man, superhero. Superman would be cool.
Oh, yeah, that's easy. Oh. No, you can choose Superman.
I mean, you know,
you can choose.
I live in the reality, man. I try and be just a good person. Dude.
But you don't go check out the Marvel movies or anything?
I'll take my kids. My kids know more about it than me, you know?
Okay.
But sorry, man.
You're good. You're good. Okay, this one will be right up your alley. I hope you get this one. This right up your alley. So one of your big hobbies, you love to hunt.
Fish.
Oh, fish.
Fish, bro. Got a fish tattoo on my arm.
Fly fishing?
No, man. Big baits, big fish. I want to take down the biggest, baddest fish.
Okay. So this is the question. If you had the option to either go fishing every single day for the rest of your life, and it wouldn't like cut into family time, it wouldn't cut into anything, it's just you get this opportunity to go out on the lake.
Yeah.
You get to go out on the ocean or whatever. But you never get to reel anything in. You can have something on the line, you can fight it, but you never get to reel anything in. Or you can never leave your house, but you have a line that goes out your window, and you can pull it in and pull in any fish you want.
Oh, man. Nothing's more funner than catching the fish, you know.
So you want to sit in your house and pull it in?
Heck yeah, I'll do that. Dude. Okay. The whole pursuit of chasing the thing that, you know, you got to not catch them, then you catch them, it's better, dude. You got to
sit in your house and reel it in the window.
Yeah, because that's what you wait for, is that bite and then the fight.
Okay. All right. So there you go. The Triple Threat Throwdown. I think that was a good one. Bryce, man, thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for everything you said, man. You brought up some good points, but honestly, the way you approach things is the way I think anybody who's an athlete should be watching this and should have that same mentality of just challenging yourself, being willing to learn, and going for it. Like if you have a desire to do something, go do it. I mean, I think you got a bright future. I've been around athletes my entire life. I'm sure, and you have too. I mean, your pedigree of athletics, but there's something that sets special athletes apart. You see it, you know it when you see it, and just the way of watching the way other people talked about you, they all see it too. So, best of luck to you throughout the rest of your career. Anything you choose to do, you want to hold up your belt, let them see it, get it on camera. This is the heavyweight champ, baby. Everyone else, go check out myteamtrainer.com. Go get some drills. We're going to add those hand drills real quick that I had Bryce do. If he vouches for them, then I'm going to put them on there. Everyone else, be good to yourself. Be good to each other. I love you. All right, that's all we have for you. Thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to check out us on all our forms of social media. Don't forget to like and subscribe, to check out all other videos, and to go check out the website.